Boxing King Media. We're here with promoter Izzy, Asif. In Sheffield, I thought we'd do something out and about today, and thank you for coming down at short notice, because I know you've had some big news in the last 24 hours. Bad news, and then you've come back with some good news as well. So I'll kind of jump in and start straight with that. You had a big promotional thing a couple of weeks ago, doing a stadium show in Galway in Ireland, and then I understand that's been cancelled, and now you're going to Hull.
Yeah.
So just kind of initially, I will start with Galway. The fans that want to know, from your version of events, why was it cancelled?
Well, we had a complete, utter intention to go to Galway. We invested a lot of money into Galway. We believed in Galway. We believed in the whole show. We thought we were gonna, really pull a good event on. I always spoke about how passionate the Irish fans are and how much they know about boxing, how much they love the fight game. But sometimes in this game, you've got to protect your commercials brand. You've got to protect your own brand, and if things aren't right for yourself for whatever reason, you've got to make sure you do certain things. And unfortunately, that's what happened. And we ended up moving the show from Galway. We put a great card on in Hull, which was a bit of stress back and forth, trying to get the venue, trying to make sure the fighters are available, and logistically sorting everything out. But we've got a great event, 2 weeks in a couple of days, where we're going to Hull for the first time of promoting there, so it should be good.
Obviously, people will be wondering, you did the press conference in the stadium over there, so you must have known about the logistics of things and cost, etc. What changed for you to kind of just scrap it completely and move it to Hull?
Things have got to be right for us. This is a tough business, and we invest a lot in the sport and in fighters like we have for the last 3 or 4 years in the game. We've invested guys from European titles to world title fights to British title fights. We invest hard in our fighters. We believe in our fighters, but there's got to be that kind of long-term relationship. If it's not there, that could really have a detrimental effect on us commercially. And I've got an obligation to, whether it's my broadcaster, whether it's my sponsors, I've got an obligation to them. They're putting money into me. I've got to make sure the money's going to the right place. I feel like if there's no commercial long-term relationship there, I can't pursue it, and that's what kind of happened. I know it happened late. I didn't plan on it late, because we invested $1,000 into that, whether it's flying fighters over, flying media over, doing press conferences, literally thousands into we went over 3-4 times as a team. But look, these things happen. It's unfortunate, disappointing, because I was looking forward to go away myself. But look, we move on. We've got a great card. Shakan Pitters, Brad Ray, Warrant's the top of the bill. A serious light heavyweight who's the king of Europe. And I'm just going to move on to that now.
Okay, just the last bit on that. Obviously, the main event for that show was Kieran Malloy versus Casey Benjamin. Obviously, Kieran's put a statement out in the last night. Obviously, the key parts of it are he's saying that he sold 21,000 of the 2,500 that you gave him.
21,000?
Sorry, 2,000. Sorry. He sold 2,000. Sorry, if he sold 21,000, we're all going back now. Yeah, I'll go back right now. But yeah, he said he sold 2,100 from the 2,500 that he gave him to sell. Obviously, he's disappointed, and he thanks Adam Smith for coming across and helping him with the promotion. And the only mention of yourself is basically just saying that he's parted ways with yourself, and obviously he's disappointed that the show's not going ahead there. And can you explain, because obviously from what he's saying, he's not saying a lot, but it seems like there's been some sort of issue between yourself and Kieran Malloy. Can you elaborate on that?
No, there's no personal issue. I really like Kieran. We worked with Kieran for 18 months. He's been great to work with. I think he's a great talent. I really do. And whether he's not working under us or not, I wish him all the best in his endeavours. And I've got no doubt he'll bring major titles to Galway, and he'll be a fan favourite for Ireland. But it just wasn't right for us, weren't right for various reasons, and we couldn't come to an agreement. I know it was late. I know we should have probably arranged it, but these things happen. They weren't on purpose. I didn't plan on leaving it to a few weeks, but these things happen. And look, I hope him best for the future. I think he's a great talent. And listen, it's never personal. I've got to protect my commercial brand, as well as Kieran's got to protect his. Look, the fighting game's hard. It's a hard business. It's hard as a promoter, but a fighter, you're going there, risking your life. You're putting a lot on the line. We invested hard in Kieran, for the last 18 months. He's been on our cards. We've enjoyed working with him, but look, probably going to be best going other ways. He's probably seen somewhere his future in some other promotion outfit or whatever he has, because he obviously put that statement out. But we've enjoyed our time with him, and look, best of luck. And I'm sure he'll succeed in whoever he gets promoted by.
For the final thing on that, it appears like obviously there's been some sort of fallout, but I'm guessing neither Kieran or yourself want to go too deep into it, but you're both separating mutually and moving forward, doing your own thing.
Look, I've got a lot of respect for Kieran and his family, and deep down they'll have respect for me because I've stuck to what I've said. I signed Kieran when I had no TV deal, no budget. I put my family investment into the promotion when I started. We've spoke about this on various interviews, how I got GBM going. I invested myself in it. Now obviously DAZN, who've been great broadcasters, who invested in us as well. But Kieran knows that, and I know Kieran liked working with us, and it's a shame, really is. It's a shame that we couldn't kind of pursue this show, but sometimes things are out of my hands in the sense where I've got obligations to sponsors, and if there's no long-term commercial contractual things in place, I've got to act, to my kind of loyalty with my.
What's best for you, basically?
Yeah, best for me, GB. Not me personally, because personally I still wanted to go away. That's the truth. I really wanted to go. I enjoyed it. I love everything about going away to another country and the Irish people. I kept talking about how passionate the Irish people are at boxing, but look, I had to look after our commercial interest, and that's what it does. But look, all the best for Kieran. I don't really want to say much more on the matter because I think he's a good lad, and his family's. Spoke to his father a couple of days ago, and I said, look, there's generally nothing personal. Yeah, obviously people online don't really know what's happened, and I don't really want to indulge in it because I think we've got a great top of the bill. Shakan Pitters versus Brad Ray for a light heavyweight European title. King of Europe. It's a seriously fight. I'd put it up there as one of the best 50-50s we've put on, because really is a lot of people saying which way is it going to go, and I want to focus on that. We've got Hughie Fury back. We've got I believe one of the most dangerous middleweights in the world, Shaquille Thompson. We've got Sean McCone, another Irish fighter, who's now committed to us long term. He's commercially committed to me, telling me he wants to be with us for the next, 4 or 5 fights at least. So I'm going to invest in these guys now and invest in the guys who've committed to me.
Okay. Casey Benjamin, what happens with him? Is he on the card, or have you got a promotion situation?
There's still talks with John Pegg, his manager, who's working closely with us anyway, potentially get him on a card. But look, we don't know yet, but we'll get him out either way. But that would have been a great fight, really would have. But Casey's still half in the gym, expecting a call to get a fight. Listen, it's the boxing business. How many pullouts have we had since you've known us? Yeah. We got last time Brad Ray's opponent pulled out on the day, 4 hours before entering the ring, and I promised Brad Ray, I'll get you the European title. We've got him the European title versus Shakan Pitters. A hard fight for Shakan. If you don't turn up, he gets beat. It's as simple as that.
Why Hull?
Hull, interesting question. So obviously now we've got a DAZN date on June the 28th.
Can I say, when you said Hull, when I found out, I was expecting the whole town hall, and I was thinking, iconic venue, because I know Lennox Lewis has fought there as well, but it's obviously quite small, and how are you going to do it in there? But I didn't know that they've got an amazing new venue in Hull. The Connexin,
yeah,
looks amazing.
The production team have been down there, had a look. DAZN are happy with the venue. So how it goes with Steve Wood had a show there on the same day. Steve Wood manages Brad Ray as well. And obviously when I've cancelled this show, it's been sudden, it's not been planned, so I've not had a contingency plan for another arena or venue. I phoned about, they were struggling to get the venue, what's going to be suited for our production and for DAZN to be happy with it as well, which is going to be a nice arena. And then Steve said we've got the show on the same date, we've got 8 or 9 fights on, but we can get 4 or 5 fights on there. We come to a reasonable agreement, who's going to pay for what and how it's going to work and how we're going to take up the show, because it's complicated, because he's already sold tickets, he's already paid for like paramedics, he's already paid for certain things. So we've come to a reasonable agreement, and we're going to put the show on. So it's going to be a GBM card, but we'll have some of Steve Wood's lads on the card as well. So yeah, it's worked out quite well. Look, it's not ideal. I'm not something that's been easy and done by any easy measures. It wasn't a kind of a nice thing for me to do, and it was not a pleasant thing, but it happened, and I just put it down to sometimes in life it just weren't meant to be, and I've got to believe in that. We've had a lot of ups and downs as a promotion, but we've kept true to ourselves, and we've been true to the fans as well. So this is just a little bit of a kind of situation we couldn't help, but let's look forward to Hull now. And I think we're in for a treat, because we've got Hughie Fury back, and I don't think it's going to be as straightforward as fight as some people think.
Well, you've got it's a new city. You never promoted in Hull before as well. I'll tell you one of the fights. I know we've spoken a lot about the fights you've already got on the card. They're basically just moving across there, so it'd be good to see Shaquille Thompson back. Who is Shaquille going to fight? Is it like a warm-up fight? You're going to put him in with someone?
We're probably too close time to get him for his title fight, to get him on weight. He was in gym, but to get an opponent now, he's not an easy guy to match. So it'll probably be an 8-rounder. But we've been active with him. We signed him 18 months ago. We've given 5 fights in 18 months. He's ranked top 10 in IBF, top 10 in WBO, top 5 in the country in Britain, top 4. I think he's up for there for the big fights. We did get offered a big Zanabek fight 3-4 months ago, which we obviously didn't take as a team, but the big plan for Shaq, get him this 8-rounder and then just put him in the mix.
Okay. I'm excited to see Adrian King, young heavyweight from Hull, trained by Curtis Woodhouse. A lot of hype around him at the moment, and I think he's got loads of fights lined up, and I believe he's on the undercard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
You're getting recognised everywhere.
I know, it's hard, isn't it? Yeah. It's hard being at top, you know.
Yeah.
He's I didn't know who he was, by the way.
All right.
He was shadowboxing there. Should we get him in on the whole card?
No, he's
so Adrian King, Curtis Woodhouse has been speaking about Adrian King, this monster, this new sensation heavyweight. And it's funny, like, I got a phone call from a friend of mine say, look at Adrian King, get him on one of your cards. And I'm like, look, we can't, we're going to go away. We haven't got another show for the next 6 weeks, so we can't get him on. And it's worked out, he's on our card. I want to see what it's all about. He sold a lot of tickets, got a lot of hype about him. Let's see what it is. Everybody likes a big heavyweight, and he could be one of them.
Definitely. That's it really. I think we kind of covered everything. I think the main thing was to kind of clear up what's happened, because that kind of there was a lot of confusion in the last 24 hours when when the stadium show gets moved from one country to another. But I think you've kind of clarified it. So unless you've got anything else to say, I think we've pretty much covered everything. Let me just make sure. That's it really. Unless you got anything else to add.
No, we're all good. June 28th, live on DAZN, the biggest broadcaster out there, home of sport, home of boxing. Looking forward to another show, another title fight, and another real 50-50 on top of the bill. Shaq and Peters versus Brad Ray.
I tell you what, before I do let you go, it's worth asking you. We don't even know if this is official, but it's just what the Daily Mail reported, that Sky are not going to continue with Boxer. I know you've got a relationship with DAZN, but if Sky came to you, because I think the rumours are they just want to work with loads of different promoters. Are you open to doing that, or are you?
See, I'm extremely comfortable with that, with our relationship with DAZN. I'm extremely happy with them. They're a great working relationship. We've got a great plan. They've got a plan for us, working alongside Queensby and Matchroom, and the relationship's great. And they've been loyal to me. They've supported me and they've backed me when we didn't have a TV deal, when we didn't have a broadcaster supporting me. So there's got to be an element of loyalty. I know money plays a big factor in things, but you've got to talk long-term plans and all. I feel like they are the ones that have got the big future, got all the big boys. Queensby are on there, Matchroom on there. I want to be associated around these guys making these fights, and at the moment I have no plans going anywhere. I'm really comfortable with DAZN. It's not, look, we've had interest abroad, we've had interest of different people wanting to get into boxing, but look, we've got a great relationship with DAZN, and we'll continue to it and grow with them, and I think it's the future of combat sport and boxing.
Okay, top man. Izzy, thank you for doing this short notice, and cheers for that.
Thank you.